Why does reheated rice seem so harmless? You open the fridge and spot it immediately. Yesterday's rice still looks fine, still smells fine. You put it in the microwave, heat it up, and feel a small sense of pride for not wasting food. Nothing feels risky about rice. It's simple, clean, and familiar. We worry about chicken, we worry about milk, but rice feels immortal. And yet, every year, more people end up with food poisoning from rice than from many foods we actually fear. Not because rice is dangerous, but because we misunderstand it. So what really happens when you reheat rice? And why does something so ordinary carry a risk so invisible? What is really living inside rice? Before rice ever reaches your kitchen, it grows in fields filled with soil, dust, and air. In those environments lives a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. It sounds frightening, but it's incredibly common. Most of us eat traces of it all the time without any problem. When rice is cooked, most bacteria die. But this one has a survival trick. It creates spores. These spores are like bacteria in hibernation. Heat doesn't kill them easily. They survive boiling, they survive steaming. They wait quietly for the right moment. And that moment arrives when cooked rice is left sitting out. When rice is freshly cooked, it is safe. When it cools slowly on the counter, it enters a temperature range bacteria. Love, not hot enough to kill them, not cold enough to stop them, just warm enough to wake them up. In that warmth, the spores come alive, they multiply. And instead of just growing, they begin producing toxins, not the kind you can see, not the kind you can smell, the kind you only notice when your stomach suddenly turns against you hours later. This is the part most people don't realize. Reheating rice can kill bacteria, but it cannot always destroy the toxins they already made. So when you heat yesterday's rice, you're not always fixing the problem. Sometimes you're only hiding it. People often call it fried rice syndrome, but the name hides how sudden and intense it can be. One type of illness hits fast. Within a few hours of eating, nausea rises like a wave. Vomiting follows. Your body reacts violently, trying to expel something it knows does not belong inside it. Another type comes later. 6, 10, even 15 hours after the meal, cramps begin. Diarrhea follows. You feel weak, drained, confused about what went wrong because the food tasted perfectly fine. The symptoms usually pass within a day, but the experience leaves a question behind. How did something so normal turn into something so miserable? Is reheated rice really dangerous? Here's the truth most headlines miss. Reheated rice is not dangerous. Improperly stored rice is. The microwave is not the villain. The stove is not the problem. The danger happens earlier, quietly, when rice sits too long at room temperature. By the time you reheat it, the story may already be written. If rice is cooled quickly, stored cold, and reheated thoroughly, it is safe. But if rice is left warm for hours, the risk is already there. Reheating doesn't create the danger, it only reveals whether you escaped it. What actually happens inside your body when you reheat bad rice? When you reheat rice, heat destroys most living bacteria. That part works, but if toxins were created earlier, they remain. These toxins travel into your stomach, where your body immediately recognizes them as a threat. Your nervous system reacts before you even understand what's happening. Nausea appears, your stomach tightens, your gut speeds up. Your body's only goal becomes simple: get this out as fast as possible. That's why rice-related food poisoning feels sudden and dramatic. Your body isn't being invaded by bacteria in real time. It's reacting to something that was already there. We trust our senses. If food smells fine, we assume it is fine. If food looks normal, we assume it is safe. Rice takes advantage of that trust. Toxins do not smell, they do not change the color of food. They do not announce themselves. Rice can look perfect and still carry danger. We also trust technology. We believe microwaves fix everything, but heat does not erase time. If toxins formed yesterday, reheating today does not undo them. And perhaps the biggest myth of all is that food poisoning only happens in dirty kitchens. In reality, this bacteria comes from nature itself. Clean kitchens can still make the same mistake, leaving rice out too long. Most stories of rice poisoning follow the same quiet timeline. Rice is cooked for dinner. It sits on the counter while people eat, talk, and relax. Maybe it stays there for a few hours. Nothing seems wrong. Later, it is placed in the fridge. The next day, it is reheated. It smells fine, it tastes fine, then the body reacts. The danger did not begin when the microwave turned on. It began when the rice stayed warm too long the night before. Professional kitchens treat rice with strict respect. They cool it quickly, they refrigerate it fast, they reheat it until it is steaming hot. They use it within a short time. They do not rely on memory or instinct. They rely on temperature and timing. At home, we rely on feeling. We think it is probably fine. We trust yesterday's version of ourselves. That is usually enough until one day it is not. Rice does none of that. It looks calm, gentle, familiar. Our brains use a shortcut. This food has never hurt me before, so it will not hurt me now. But food safety does not care about memory, it cares about math. Time multiplied by temperature equals risk. The equation never changes. Even when the food feels harmless, storing rice safely is not complicated. It just requires speed. Rice should cool quickly, not sit in a warm pot for hours. It should reach the refrigerator fast, not after the dishes are done. It should be stored, sealed, not open to the air. And when it is reheated, it should be heated thoroughly, not just warmed. Most importantly, rice should not be reheated again and again. Each cycle adds risk. Rice is forgiving once. It is not endlessly patient. Microwaves heat unevenly. One part of your rice may be boiling hot, while another stays only warm. Warm is where bacteria once thrived. Hot is what makes food safe again. That is why stirring matters. That is why reheating twice is better than reheating lazily once. Even heat is safety. Uneven heat is uncertainty. Other foods warn us when they turn bad. Milk changes smell. Meat changes texture. Bread grows visible mold. Rice does none of this. It becomes dangerous silently. Rice does none of that. It looks calm, gentle, familiar. Our brains use a shortcut. This food has never hurt me before, so it will not hurt me now. But food safety does not care about memory, it cares about math. Time multiplied by temperature equals risk. The equation never changes. Even when the food feels harmless, storing rice safely is not complicated. It just requires speed. Rice should cool quickly, not sit in a warm pot for hours. It should reach the refrigerator fast, not after the dishes are done. It should be stored, sealed, not open to the air. And when it is reheated, it should be heated thoroughly, not just warmed. Most importantly, rice should not be reheated again and again. Each cycle adds risk. Rice is forgiving once. It is not endlessly patient. Microwaves heat unevenly. One part of your rice may be boiling hot, while another stays only warm. Warm is where bacteria once thrived. Hot is what makes food safe again. That is why stirring matters. That is why reheating twice is better than reheating lazily once. Even heat is safety. Uneven heat is uncertainty. Other foods warn us when they turn bad. Milk changes smell. Meat changes texture. Bread grows visible mold. Rice does none of this. It becomes dangerous silently.